All right, let's dive in. What if I told you that one of the best kept secrets for your garden might already be in your bathroom cabinet? We're talking about a super common household chemical that could be a game changer for your plants.
Yeah, I'm talking about that humble brown bottle of hydrogen peroxide. So is it really the secret key to saving your plants? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's actually a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde story. In the world of gardening, this one chemical can be a total hero or an absolute villain.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today, the two faces of H2O2. Because honestly, understanding this dual personality is everything. It's the only way you can use it to help your plants, not hurt them. So what even is this stuff? Chemically, you can think of it as water's hyperactive cousin. You know, water is H2O. Well, hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. It has this one extra oxygen atom that's, well, it's really unstable. It doesn't like to stick around. And when it breaks off, it releases plain old water and this single, highly reactive oxygen atom. And believe me, that one little atom is the star of our show today. Because that tiny reactive atom has two completely different jobs. On one hand, it's a generous oxygen donor. It's like giving your plant's roots a big breath of fresh air. But on the other hand, it's a potent oxidizer. That's a fancy way of saying it's a non-selective destroyer that just attacks and kills living cells on contact. Good cells, bad cells, it doesn't care. Okay, so let's start with the good side of the story. Let's talk about how H2O2 can be a total hero in your garden when you know what you're doing.
Probably its biggest heroic act is its fight against root rot. And honestly, it's a brilliant 1-2 punch. First, that released oxygen goes to war, killing off the nasty fungi and bacteria that caused the rot in the first place. You know, the stuff that loves soggy, oxygen-poor soil. Then, punch number 2, at the exact same time, it's pumping that soil full of oxygen, literally helping the suffocating roots breathe again. It's pretty amazing. But wait, there's more. The benefits don't stop there. That oxygen boost also helps plants take up nutrients more efficiently, which in turn promotes really vigorous, healthy root growth. Oh, and you can use it to sterilize your potting mix before you even plant anything. It's actually a super versatile tool to have in your kit. Okay, but now for the twist, the dark side of the story. Because that very same power, the thing that makes it a hero, can also turn it into a total villain. If you don't handle it with care, you're heading straight into the danger zone. And you might be surprised at how quickly you can get into that danger zone. I mean, we're talking about a really low concentration. Some studies show that you can start to see visible cell damage on sensitive plants at a concentration of just 0.02%. That is tiny. It leaves almost no room for error. So what kind of damage are we talking about here? Well, if you mix your foliar spray too strong, you'll literally see it. You'll get leaf necrosis, or what most of us just call leaf burn. And if you go overboard in the soil, you can completely obliterate those delicate little root structures, stressing out your plant or even killing it outright. It really all comes down to getting that dilution perfect.
But here's what I think is the biggest downside, the real villainous act. Remember how we called it a non-selective destroyer? It's like a chemical bomb. It can't tell the difference between the bad guys, like the root rot pathogens, and all the good guys, all those beneficial microbes that make your soil a living, thriving ecosystem. It just wipes them all out. And this is what we mean by collateral damage. You're talking about wiping out things like mycorrhizal fungi, those amazing fungi that form a partnership with roots to help them absorb nutrients. You're killing off nitrogen-fixing bacteria, good nematodes, even earthworms can be affected. So if you're an organic gardener who's worked hard to build up that beautiful living soil, this is a really, really big deal. All right, so we've seen the hero and we've seen the villain. Now for what you've been waiting for, the rules of engagement. Let's get into a super practical guide on how to actually control this power and use H2O2 safely. Look, the secret to all of this is just having the right recipe. It's like baking. You have to be precise. And rule number 1, the most important rule, we are only talking about the standard 3% household hydrogen peroxide, the stuff you can get at any grocery store or pharmacy. Don't go using anything stronger. Okay, so let's look at soil and root care. The recipe totally depends on the job. If you're just looking for a little boost, some general oxygenation for your soil, you want a really weak mix. Think 1 part H2O2 to 17 parts water, which is about 60 milliliters per liter. To sterilize potting mix before you plant, you can go a little stronger, about 1 to 8. But if you're in rescue mode, actively fighting off root rot, That's when you bring out the stronger stuff, anywhere from a 1:2 to a 1:4 ratio.
Now, what about other uses? If you want to make a preventative foliar spray, say for fungal issues, go with a 1:9 mix. But please, please test it on a small leaf first and wait a couple of days to see what happens. Dealing with those annoying fungus gnat larvae, a 1:5 mix drenched into the top inch or two of soil should do the trick. And for cleaning your tools, super simple, a 1:1 mix. Just let them soak for 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, let's just hammer these safety rules home because they are non-negotiable. Golden rule number 1. Never, and I mean never, use that 3% solution straight from the bottle onto your plants. You have to dilute it. Always wear gloves, maybe even goggles. Always, always, always test a small patch of a leaf 48 hours before you go spraying the whole plant. And of course, keep it stored somewhere cool, dark, and away from kids and pets. These are simple, but they're absolutely crucial. So as we start to wrap this all up, there's one quote that I think perfectly captures the essence of this tool. It says that hydrogen peroxide is exclusively a contact killer, offering no residual activity.
So what does that actually mean? It's simple. It only works while it's physically wet and bubbling away. The second it dries, the reaction is over and its job is done. It leaves nothing behind. That means it's a temporary fix, not a long-term cure. It's a Band-Aid. It can knock down a problem right now, but it won't prevent that problem from coming right back if you don't fix what caused it in the first place. You know, things like soggy soil or bad airflow.
So when you get right down to it, hydrogen peroxide is a really powerful but very specific tool for your gardening toolbox. The real question for you to answer is this. Are you going to use it as just a quick fix, a panic button when things go wrong? Or will you use it thoughtfully as one small part of a bigger, smarter gardening strategy? Now you have the information, so you decide.